for daily fantasy. His number too high, then I'm probably fading him. He been on the road, he gon' eat up my salary. I hit a buy, he gon' lie before lock. Play back to back, then I probably won't pick on the DFS bachelor, good as it gets. Bit a few liners and hit me a leg. He had a good game, but it might be a trick. Log in the Slack so I know who to pick. Sharing our liners, we all gon' get rich. New to this game, you should come to the pad. You might want some cash and get a good laugh. DFS sports, we gon' run up a bag. He heard every game and it's making me mad. You buying your lineups, I think you a cheater. DFS bachelor, he the new leader. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Bachelor Pad. I, of course, am your host of DFS Bachelor, and we're going to go over our Fanduel and Draftkings NBA slate for Friday, February 28th. It is a 10-game slate, so we got an early top 5 or 6 at each position. Of course, with these bigger slates, a lot can change. A lot of things can happen. News, rest, injuries, illness, macrame, bingo night. Kawhi Leonard's on the slate. You just never know what's going to happen. First things first, thank you. Seriously, cheers to you all. I really do appreciate all your support, making me a part of your day every day. It's truly humbling, so thank you all so much for that. If you are new to the channel, welcome to the team. Normally my hair is not this, well, maybe it is, but I am aware that I need a haircut. You get old like me and the hair starts thinning, you get really nervous to start cutting it. I kind of like that it's longer. It feels like I'm not balding when it's longer, which I enjoy. Anyways, I digress, but be sure to hit subscribe down below. If you're new to the channel, I appreciate that. Get access to all of our content. Fantasy Draft, NBA video is already out. We announced our winners, gave away a couple free entries today. XFL I'm going to try to get to later this afternoon. It's been a busy week, so I haven't been able to get that out as early as I like. Title of the sex tape. Gotta pull and pray, baby. Gotta pull and pray. But there's all that. Also, by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and leaving a comment in the comment section, you qualify for our weekly $25 PayPal giveaway. That is sponsored by Draft Dashboard. That's where we're all the research information, history against opponent. You can set your exposures for the lineup optimizer, projected ownerships, projected points. You can get access to this tool for every sport, as well as my player pool for every sport. By clicking that link in the video description below, you can try Draft Dashboard for 30 days for $1. And don't forget, for those of you looking to try something a little bit different, it's a lot of fun. I've won a couple of times this week. It's been very profitable for me this week. Overlay DFS. If you're an Apple iTunes user, you can download that from the Apple iTunes store, the app for Overlay DFS. If you're an Android user, go to the website overlaydfs.com. Be sure to hit them up with your first deposit, and they'll do a 50% deposit match up to $100. Overlay DFS, it's a lot of fun. It's a fun sweat. Big jackpot right now in the $22 one. So we've been going after that, coming real close to that this week. So excited for all of that. I think that's it. So let's just get started right into it. So right at the top at point guard, we've got Luka Doncic, 10-4 on Fanduel, 10-7 on Draftkings. Now he's questionable with a thumb injury. I would be surprised if he misses this game just because of the event happening in Miami at Slovenia night. When Dragic and Doncic play, the Slovenians come out in droves. It's a big night for both of them. Both Dragic and Doncic, I think, have big-time upside in front of a raucous Slovenian crowd. They're going to want to show off a little bit, so I do like him. But, of course, I like Trae Young. 9-7 on FanDuel, 10-5 on DraftKings. Brooklyn 23rd against opposing point guards. 64, a 55, and a 53 his last 3 games against Brooklyn. It's a great matchup. I'm going to have a ton of Trae Young tonight. Don't let me down, you mother bleep. Next, in that same game, Spencer Dinwiddie. 7-3 on FanDuel, 7-9 on DraftKings. Atlanta, 22nd against opposing point guards. Paced up game for Brooklyn. Both these teams play at a really nice pace. 55, a 38, a 42 in 3 of his last 4 against Atlanta. I do like Spencer Dinwiddie quite a bit tonight. There's some guys in the mid-tier. Lonzo, Ricky Rubio, I think are in a good spot. I don't mind Eric Bledsoe either. But I do like the matchup for Colin Sexton against New Orleans. 5-8 on FanDuel. 6-4 on DraftKings is a bit much for me for Sexton, but I like the price on FanDuel. New Orleans allowing the 3rd most fantasy points in the league to opposing point guards. A 43 his last time out. Paced up game, big time for Cleveland. No Andre Drummond. I like Colin Sexton quite a bit. For Detroit, Derrick Rose I still think is too cheap. He has been on a massive shooting slump. He played a little bit better in that last game, put up a 32, but if his shot starts to fall, he's got legit 50-point upside. We know that. Just this last month has been a pretty cold shooting since coming back from that injury. He's 5-7 on both sides. Phoenix 26th against opposing point guards. I like Fultz against Minnesota as well at 5-6. Goran Dragic, we just talked about it. 5-5 on Fanduel, 6-1 on DraftKings. Dallas is 9th against opposing point guards. His last time they did the Slovenian matchup here against Dallas, he put up a 57 on Fanduel and a 60 on DraftKings. Love the matchup. Sign me up for that. Mike Conley's got some upside against a bad Washington defense. He's put up a 37 and a 49 his last two against Washington. And we're looking at the value, guys. I mean, there's just quite a few. If De'Aaron Fox misses again, which it looks like he's going to play, but if he does miss, then Corey Joseph will enter the starting lineup and play a ton of minutes. You could take a punt on guys like Darius Garland. Seth Curry's got some upside as well. Patrick Beverley's minutes should continue to go up. Shabazz Napier also in the starting lineup now for Washington. We'll see if that continues. Let's go to shooting guard. Excuse me. At the top, I like Jrue Holiday against Cleveland. No team in the league allows more fantasy points to opposing shooting guards than Cleveland. He put up a 62 his last time out against Cleveland. I do like Jrue Holiday. How about D'Angelo Russell? 8-5 on FanDuel, 8-8 on DraftKings. Orlando is 5th against opposing shooting guards, but skilled scoring guards play well against Orlando. A 55, a 51, and a 51 in 3 of his last 4 against Orlando. I could certainly go there. Tonight, next player who I think is just underpriced is Devin Booker. 7-5 on FanDuel, 7-8 on DraftKings. Detroit, 16th against opposing shooting guards. 45, 39, 34 his last 3 against Detroit. No more Kelly Oubre for a while, so there should be some extra usage. Devin Booker, big-time upside under 8K. I like that as well. Next, his price is starting to go way up, but so is his upside, and that's Karis LeVert. He's 7-2 on FanDuel, 8-3 on DraftKings, so he's gone up quite a bit. Atlanta allows the second most fantasy points in the league to opposing shooting guards. In his last 5 games, only 1 game under a 40. He just put up a 63 the other night. He is taking a shit ton of shots. I mean, he is just firing from everywhere. I could certainly go there. I also like the price for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. It is a back-to-back for Oklahoma City, but he plays well against Milwaukee. In his 3 games against Milwaukee, a 39, a 37, and a 42. He's sitting there at 6'9 and 7'5. I like that price for him as well. I'm just making sure there's no news updates throughout the day. You can follow me on Twitter at DFS Bachelor. 10-game slates tend to have a lot of information, a lot of news, a lot of moving parts. There you go, title of the sex tape. So, it behooves you, if you're not going to follow me, follow someone who's giving out daily information throughout the day, starting lineups and such, because as we know, the NBA is very volatile this time of year. Devontae Graham, 5-7 on FanDuel, 6-4 on DraftKings. Toronto is 7th against shooting guards, but he's just going to have a ton of minutes, a ton of usage. Malik Monk is out. Gone. He got busted for drugs. It looks like steroids, I would imagine. It can't just be a first-time offense for weed. They wouldn't suspend him indefinitely for that. Devontae Graham is in a good spot tonight. Like the price, and I like that upside. And for some value, how about Garrett Temple in that Brooklyn-Atlanta game? Again, we talked about it. Atlanta struggles against shooting guards. He's 4-3 on both sides. Even when he doesn't start, he's still playing 30 minutes a night. Now he's got that 40-point ceiling, and he's also got that like 15-point floor. If you look at his last 5 games overall, a 17, a 17, then a 36 and a 31, and then down to a 16. But if you look at his last 4 against Atlanta, his last time out struggled, only had a 14. The previous 3, a 42, a 34, and a 43. I think Garrett Temple's in a nice spot tonight. Could be an interesting GPP type dart throw. Gary Harris plays a ton of minutes, but again, he's kind of like the new Tony Snell. He doesn't do shit with it. Right there with PJ Tucker. But those are some of the guys you could go with at shooting guard. Let's go to small forward. At small forward, Giannis, of course, he's in play every single slate. Oklahoma City on a back-to-back. He's going to see Lou Gwyn's Dort or Danilo Gallinari defense. Good luck with that. He's 11-4 on FanDuel, 11-6 on DraftKings. Oklahoma City is 9th against opposing small forwards. Put up a 58 his last time out against Oklahoma City. Right below that, I like playing big men from the 3 position on the way up. If they can rebound and score inside, I like players against Charlotte. They're terrible in the interior defensively. He's 8-1 on FanDuel, 8-5 on DraftKings. Charlotte 18th against opposing small forwards. He's got 60-point upside. We know that. We just saw that a few games ago. Put up a 43 his last time out against Charlotte. I do like Siakam quite a bit tonight. Next, of course, without Kelly Oubre, Ricky Rubio, Michael Bridges is going to continue to be in the starting lineup. He's going to continue to play if the game's close to 40 minutes. He's got 40-point upside. He's 5K and 5.4 on FanDuel. I like Michael Bridges for Phoenix quite a bit tonight as well. Both Bridges brothers, I think are in play tonight. For some value, DeAndre Hunter in that Atlanta-Brooklyn game. He's 4-3 on FanDuel, 4-8 on DraftKings. Again, he's a boom or bust type guy. He can go out and get you 35 or 40, or he can go get you a 14 in 35 minutes. Young players, that tends to be the case. But I do like the matchup, Brooklyn 23rd against opposing small forwards. Josh Jackson should continue to see plenty of minutes. He's down there at 4-3. Joe Ingles has a nice history against Washington, a 42 and a 38 his last couple of games. Not in the starting lineup anymore, but still playing 25-plus minutes. Again, that's a GPP dart throw only. James Ennis is now starting for Orlando. Minnesota allows the second most fantasy points in the league to opposing small forwards. He's at 3.8 and 3.7. I could consider that as well. Let's go to power forwards. Power forward, Kawhi is there at the top. Of course, we always got to make sure he's going to play. I should have checked if this is the front end of a back-to-back or not. But against Denver, he plays all right. It's just a tougher defense. But I do like Bam Adebayo. 9-1 on FanDuel, 8-8 on DraftKings. Dallas, 22nd against opposing power forwards, centers. He put up a 57 his last time out against Dallas. He's been on a bit of a tear. I like Bam Adebayo. In 2 of his last 4 games, he has a 66 and a 70. So, yeah, like that upside for Bam. Next, Zion Williamson against Cleveland. No Andre Drummond there. He's going to get Kevin Love, Tristan Thompson, Larry Nance. Come on. He's 8K on both sites. Cleveland 13th against power forwards. He did play Cleveland earlier this year. He was still on a minutes limit, put up a 26. But now we just know he's got that legit 40, 50-point upside every single night. Right below that, I do not love the price for this guy, but he has been on an absolute tear since being robbed in the dunk contest. That's Aaron Gordon. I mean, in his last 5 games, nothing less than a 42. 3 games in the 50s. Like something, I mean, he's now 2,000 more than we were paying for him earlier in the year. He's 7-8 on FanDuel, 8-2 on DraftKings. Minnesota is 25th against power forwards. They do struggle defensively across the board, more so when Karl Anthony Towns is playing. But nonetheless, Aaron Gordon, he's been on fire. The price is a little unsettling, I will say that. But, man, he's playing so well lately. Next, Kevin Love on FanDuel still cheap at 6.2. I could definitely go there. He's 7.3 on DraftKings, maybe. But, man, 6.2 on FanDuel, awfully cheap for Kevin Love. I do like Jarrett Allen. He's 5.2 on FanDuel, 5.1 on DraftKings. Now, his minutes have been fluctuating, and that's really because he gets in stupid foul trouble. But when he stays on the court and plays, I mean, you saw the 2 games before that last debacle. He had a 43 and a 35. In his last 5 against Atlanta, he's only got 1 game under 30. He's got a 53 and a 42 in that time frame. Atlanta allows the 3rd most fantasy points in the league to opposing power forwards. I do like Jarrett Allen quite a bit. We talked about Larry Nance in a paced-up game against a bad New Orleans defense who are 26th in the league against opposing power forwards. With no Andre Drummond, he's going to see consistent minutes. 5.2 on FanDuel, 5.9 on DraftKings. Put up a 46 his last time out against New Orleans. And for some value, Dario Saric appears to be the guy who's going to start with the absence of Kelly Oubre. Of course, it's a situation to keep an eye on, but I do think Dario Saric has some value. Nicola Melli at 3.8 and 4.1. He has been shooting the ball really, really well. Only 1 game under 24 in his last 5. I could go Nicola Melli as a GPP dart throw for some value at the power forward position as well. That's about it. Make sure I'm not missing anyone down here. There's going to be some obscure things happening, especially with teams like Golden State, Chicago, Charlotte, like these teams who are really, really, really bad. You're going to see some up rotations, man. It's going to be fucked up rotations. Let's go to center. Jokic at the top. The Clippers, 21st against opposing centers. 55, 52, 48 in his last 3 against the Clippers. He's 9-8 and 9-6. I like Jokic quite a bit tonight, which should be a fun, competitive game. Of course, Vooch with no Karl Anthony Towns against Minnesota. The problem is Aaron Gordon's just been putting up huge numbers, so he's been kind of doing these pedestrian 40, 39, or 40-point outings. But the previous 3 before that were in the 50s. Again, no Karl Anthony Towns. They have no one who could compete with Vooch inside. He's 9K and 9.2. DeAndre Ayton, one of my favorite plays today, especially on DraftKings with him priced down to 8.1. He's a little cheaper on DraftKings than FanDuel. One of those rare plays today that is that is the case in. Case 4, I should say, if I could speak right. 9K, 8-1. Detroit 20th against opposing centers. He's played Detroit in his last 3 games. 2 of those games he had at least a 50. No Oubre, we talked about it, extra usage there. No Drummond anymore in Detroit, of course. So Christian Wood and Thon Maker and fucking aliens, whatever, whoever the hell Detroit and Dwayne Casey decides he wants to throw out on the court that day. Winderlicker Coach of the Year so far is really starting to feel like it's... after Fizdale being gone, it really feels like Dwayne Casey. He's the one that's starting to piss me off the most. I'll say that. Next, Brook Lopez. 5-1 on Fanduel, 5-3 on Draftkings. Oklahoma City 13th against opposing centers. They're on a back-to-back. In his last 4 games against Oklahoma City, nothing less than a 25. He's got a couple of 35s in there. He's priced right. He'll be low-owned. I do like some Brook Lopez for tournaments. Tristan Thompson, of course, against New Orleans without Andre Drummond. We'll see his normal allotment of minutes and then a little bit more, so probably closer to 30. The last 2 games without Drummond, he's put up a 38 and a 30 in 29 and 31 minutes. New Orleans 18th against opposing centers, paced up big time for Cleveland. I could go Tristan Thompson. And if, and only if, Bismack Biyombo starts again over Cody Zeller, he put up a 38 in 27 minutes the last game. He's 4,200 on both sides against Toronto, who is number 1 against opposing centers. But, of course, no Marc Gasol makes things a little bit easier there for the center position. So that's our look. Alex Len for Sacramento seeing some minutes now. He's got some nice history of 42 his last time against Memphis. Could be in consideration as well. So that's our early look at each position. Again, you can get access to this tool, the research, my player pool, the mass lineup generator, lineup optimizer, cash game optimizer, cheat sheets, top studs, etc. Lots and lots of cool research and my player pool. Click that link in the video description below. You can try Draft Dashboard for 30 days for $1. When you do, how you find my player pool is you will click on your watched players list. And then at the top, if you use the link in the video description, and only if you use the link in the video description, you'll see a blue box at the top that says Watch DFS Bachelor's Picks. And that will highlight my watched players. You can compare my list to yours. Show me yours, I'll show you mine, etc. I really don't see yours, so there you go. That's what she said. Man, I'm just full of it this morning. And then it's highlighted there. Of course, it'll be updated throughout the day, so you'll be able to see a timestamp in Eastern Standard Time when I last updated it. Of course, I'll have more than 31 players in a 10-game slate just early on in the day. Then you can take it lineup optimizer. Again, we'll make a couple of sample lineups. This is very early on, so nothing is etched in stone, if you will. We've got Dragic, Dinwiddie, Graham, Gilgeous-Alexander, Hunter, Siakam, Zion, Adebayo, Brook Lopez. I think that's a pretty contrarian lineup without some of the big-time players in there. I think that's okay for right now. Go to DraftKings. Graham and Dinwiddie again. Saric, 48. I think it's a bit much for him. I like him more on FanDuel. Millsap, Ayton, Rose, Temple, Devin Booker. Let's see what we can do here for Saric. I do think it's a bit much at 4-8. We can go to OG Anunoby, DeAndre Hunter again, James Ennis for some value if you're looking to get cute. Lots of ways you can go. Click the link, try it for 30 days for $1. Check out the cheat sheets, etc. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Be part of our weekly $25 PayPal giveaway. Also, don't forget to comment with your fantasy draft username. We just announced our 2 winners for the $25 entries for today. We'll do that again next Friday. So if you don't have an account, go to Fantasy Draft. Check that out. Overlay DFS. That's a lot of fun as well. Again, thank you all so much. Cheers to you all. Hope you have a great weekend. May the fantasy gods be with you tonight. And we'll see you. If I don't see you with my XFL video later today, we'll see you Monday for our NBA videos resuming next week. Thank you all again so much. Goodbye, folks.